Hello and welcome. Today, we're diving into the incredible journey our food takes, starting from just a single seed and following it all the way to our dinner tables. I mean, have you ever really stopped to think about it? It's a question we don't often ask, but the answer, well, it's an amazing story of science, hard work, and this incredible transformation. So let's follow that story step by step. But before we can really get into that seed's journey, we got to understand exactly what we're talking about. What is it that farmers are actually growing out there? At its heart, it's all about crops. And a crop is really simple. It's just one type of plant, like wheat or rice or maize, grown together in a single place, usually on a huge scale. This is pretty much the foundation of all agriculture. Now, what's really cool is that you can't just plant all these crops at the same time. Timing is absolutely everything. For instance, they're often split into two main seasons. You have kharif crops, which are planted for the rainy season, and then you have rabi crops, which are planted for the winter harvest. So once a farmer figures out what to grow and when to grow it, well, that's when the real work starts. This brings us right to the heart of our explainer, the 7 essential steps that turn an empty field into a massive harvest. Okay, think of this as our roadmap. We're going to walk through this whole journey, from getting the soil ready all the way to storing the grain. And trust me, every single step is crucial. So let's kick things off at the very beginning with step 1. You can't build a great house on a weak foundation. And it's the exact same idea here. You can't grow a healthy crop in bad soil. So preparing the soil by loosening it up and turning it over is the absolute first step. It lets the plant's roots breathe and dig down deep for all that essential water and nutrients. Once the soil is ready, it's time for sowing. But you can't just toss seeds on the ground and hope for the best. Farmers are super careful about selecting only the healthiest seeds, and they use awesome tools like seed drills to plant them with total precision. We're talking just the right depth and the perfect distance apart. So, the seed's in the ground. But we're not done yet, not by a long shot. Now comes the nurturing phase, which is all about giving that tiny plant everything it needs to grow up strong: food, water, and, of course, protection. Just like us, plants need to eat, and they get their food in two main ways. You've got manure, which is the organic option. It comes from natural stuff like animal and plant waste. Then you have fertilizers. These are chemical substances that are made to deliver specific nutrients like urea or NPK to help the plants grow really fast. And obviously, nothing can live without water. That's where irrigation comes in. While old school methods like using wells are still around, modern systems are a total game changer. Things like sprinklers and drip irrigation deliver water right where it's needed, which saves a ton of this precious resource. But our little crop isn't alone out there in the field. Nope, it's in a constant battle with invaders. Weeds. Weeds are basically any unwanted plant that pops up and starts trying to steal the sunlight, water, and nutrients that our crop desperately needs to survive. So, these weeds, they have to go. They're literally stealing food and water from our main crop. To fight back, farmers can either pull them out by hand or use special chemicals called weedicides to protect their harvest. So, after months of all that careful nurturing and protection, we finally get to the most exciting part of a farmer's year. It's time to reap the rewards of all that hard work. This is harvesting, the big moment when the ripened crops are cut and collected. And this slide is great because it shows this cool mix of old and new. It can be done the traditional way, by hand, with a simple tool like a sickle, or it can be done on a massive scale with an incredible machine called a combine harvester. But wait, the journey isn't quite over yet. The final step is storage. Once everything's harvested, the grains have to be dried out and kept safe in these huge silos or granaries. This is super important because it protects the food from moisture and pests, making sure it stays good for all of us. So there you have it, the journey from seed to storage. But crop production, as huge as it is only one piece of the agriculture story. There's another really important part of the puzzle that often happens on the very same farm. And that piece is animal husbandry. It's the practice of raising animals, like cows for milk, goats for meat, and chickens for eggs. It's kind of like a parallel journey that exists right alongside crop farming. Together, they give us the incredible variety of food we see in our grocery stores. So when you put it all together, you can really see it's true, from that one tiny single seed all the way to a full harvest. It really is a journey of careful and dedicated steps.